Hey, what is going on YouTube? Aaron here. We are back in the Daring Guys, and I am absolutely having a blast with this ship. I really hope Mr. Blip forgets to take it away from me in a week here. But another 3,500 plus XP game. I'm just printing them out, having a lot more fun playing in the middle of the day than towards the end. But this ship is just truly amazing. It's probably the best destroyer at Legendary tier. Now, again, a lot of it is the player, but it's also, the ship is just very versatile, which I think lends to my playstyle a little bit better. You can torp, you can gun, you can spot, you can cap, all the things you need to do in a destroyer. And I'm having a lot of success in hunting enemy destroyers with our Hydro, and we actually get hate mail from one of the enemy destroyer players, which we will throw up on screen at the appropriate time at the end of the game. But anyway, we're going to be talking about this game and the strategy and just different things that you should be looking out for, especially at Legendary tier. So right off the rip, we're going to pay attention to our twist and track. We are running Turwit there with the Perceptive. So we see that it ticks a little bit more towards the mid, so we're going to mark that for our team, let them know. If you see destroyer players marking positions, it's probably because they have twist and track, so pay attention to that. Or if you see a battleship player marking something on the flank, as I did the other day in a low tier game, it's probably a destroyer out there, carrier player, so go spot him. Regardless of that, the versatility that the Daring offers is truly, it's the best at the tier by far. Now, one thing that is a little bit... I've been having a little bit of trouble is approaching high concealment destroyers, and especially Kleber's with Go All Out. That kind of surprised me the other day, and I wasn't necessarily paying attention to it. But anyway, we are working our way into C cap. We spawned on the C side, so stay on the C side. If you can see, we have this destroyer working in the middle, working his way over to this side. I don't recommend going into B on this map because you can get trapped there essentially, but he should have went to A if he's going to not play the side he spawns on. There was a destroyer on this side already, so you needed to stay on that side. In the meantime, we have this Temeraire, whatever you guys say, however you guys say it, approaching us. So we went ahead and smoked up, trying to get that permanent fire as we launched torpedoes, hoping to get that flood. After the permanent fire, though, I switched to the AP. The AP absolutely decimates on these things. 3,000 every 2.5 seconds there. And I need to try a few other builds. We're running the same build as we did in our first look video, so if you're interested in that, we talked about it a little bit earlier. Go ahead and check out that video. It's near the end. Double first blood, which is always fun. So one destroyer down in trade for a battleship. That's honestly a win for our team. They do have the C cap, though. And as a result, I'm going to try and work my way over to that side. There's no point in chasing these two ships, and there's actually a Mino back there. We don't quite see at the moment, but he pops up rather soon here. So there's no point in chasing those ships out there, especially in a destroyer. You're not gaining any additional spots. You're not getting any additional cap points. You are gaining no additional advantages for your team. Now, if they come back to play, then we need to deal with them, but if they continue to kite out, it is absolutely a losing play to continue to chase them. What is a winning play, however, is getting into the B cap. Now, we can see that a cruiser is already in the B cap, so he's getting it, but he's constantly getting reset. If you're in a cap and you're constantly getting reset, especially in a battleship, you should actually move out of the cap. It does take longer for two ships to cap it if one of them is continually reset. We went over this on a Facebook post. It takes approximately 80 seconds if one ship is continually reset, as opposed to 60 seconds for a destroyer who is unconcealed. But we can see that those two ships are actually not kiting out, so we will need to deal with them. But in the meantime, we want to get this cap and start taking the points in our favor. The game is currently tied, but as you will see very soon, it won't be. Also, we have that Shima who sailed away from his spawn and is now pushing into potentially a radar cruiser. The Mino is not, but it is potentially a radar cruiser. That is something you need to know. And he is pushing into their backfield. You never want to go beyond the imaginary red line or too much further beyond that line in the middle of the play, especially with all these radar cruisers on the board. But we have this Alaska here, and our team actually does a good job of focus firing him and getting him off the board. You can see the Mino there is spamming something on the opposite side, but those two are together. As our Shima pushes into the back line without getting the B cap. So he's avoided the A cap. I don't think he got the C cap because we have a solo cap, and he has now avoided the B cap. So it's just not the way I would play a Shima personally. In the scoreboard kind of shows why, but playing smarter and not trying to get torpedo damage is definitely the way to go. But that is why I really detest playing the Shima and most Shima players, and it actually works out in our favor at the end of this video. So we can see that the Temerari, that's what I'm going to call it from now on, is spotted here. We can actually lob this island despite there being a potential not so best aiming system over islands as Flamu went over. But anyway, we're getting these to lob, and we actually get a permanent fire here, and that's all our goal is. You can see he's kind of angled to us, so switching to AP, we might be getting 4,000 or 5,000 off the superstructure, but our main goal for this is actually just to get a permanent fire. It looks like he's still ticking there, and we're just continually lobbing from concealment. We can see that Mino is in his smoke screen here, and we do have 10-kilometer torpedoes, so we're going to press up and move at him here as we still lob the Temporary. But anyway, you can see our team has completely folded at the A side, and we are tied on ships, and we are actually down on points. But since we are ticking, since we got that B cap, we are now ticking in the right direction. We can see the Mino there actually went out of his smoke and is now concealed, or now detected instead of concealed, and should be taking fire from our friendlies, but they want to get that permanent fire. And I can't blame them. Getting that Temporary, we don't know if he has will to rebuild, off the board would be a huge win, and then the Mino is focused out. So anytime you can focus down a battleship, or any ship really in a 2v1 situation, or when they're together like that, is a smart play. But we get another fire, and I think he puts it out here as the Mino tries to blind fire us, which is actually a pretty decent play. Now this is a little bit of a mistake. We thought the island cover would have kept us concealed, but we actually go out as another one of our teammates goes down, and we are now down a teammate. You can see our Shima in the background here as we try to blind fire this Mino, which is actually not a great play per se, because if he would have got out, he could have wrecked us. Now we do have our short duration smoke, which come back every 60 seconds or so, but any damage you want to mitigate as minimal as the least amount of damage as possible as the Ibuki pushes up and gets the kill on the Mino. So half the game is over, and our team is already over half dead. So stop suiciding your ships, guys. I don't know what else to say about it. But regardless of that, we see that we have something in the cap here, and we think it is the destroyer. And because we are now detected, we know that it is the destroyer. As I mentioned earlier, these low concealment Shima players will have you outspotted and at a little bit of an advantage, because you either have to go at them or turn out, in which case you give broadside. But we have our Hydra running, so we know that if he drops torps, they will be detected in hopefully time enough for us to dodge them. So we wanted to push him and get him spotted for our team, but unfortunately this Kurfürst smartly pushes into the B cap. He has a 6-kilometer hydro. Now it only lasts 60 seconds, but in that 60 seconds, a Kurfürst can absolutely decimate you. While the Kurfürst is not my favorite ship, or really not the best battleship at the tier, despite having the best battle impact, which I don't even know what means, those secondaries, even if it's not fully secondary spec'd, will rip you up, especially with another cruiser out there and a Shima spotted, or Shima in the cap still. But in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and throw out torps, and I stagger these torps on purpose here. We do not use the single fire as much as I guess maybe should, but as I cheesed the other night in the Neptune game, I missed all of my single fire torps. But we get the Kurfürst turning here, and anytime you see a battleship turning wide like that, lead the spread just a little bit. Now we couldn't lead it that much because of the island, and usually they'll either continue that turn or they have to turn back out. But because of the way the turning kind of works, you'll still get 2 or 3 torps. But but regardless of that, we got 2 torps and a flood, so we were trying to get a permanent fire there. We use our smoke to run away as he is pushing us, and we actually get another 2 torp hits and another 2 floods, and that is a permanent flood. That's why I stagger the torps, as we mentioned in our Oyster Destroyer video. As you can see, our Shima is out here, and we actually get that Ibuki to kill him. But again, I don't think it's the appropriate play or the correct play to be that far into the enemy spawn. It distracts them from potentially focusing me or focusing our other ships, but I still think it's just a waste of your team's resources. So we actually get detected here, and we see that as Shima. He is probably torping us, but we still have 50 seconds of our hydro as the Kurfürst goes down, and we want to switch to the AP here, but he is not giving us a full broadside, and as soon as he does, I think I go ahead and switch to it here. There it is, that on top of the high caliber. Now we know that torpedoes are on the way, so we go ahead and smoke up so we are not shot by the other cruiser here, but we are also preparing to turn, and there are the torpedoes as we absolutely smack that guy. And he actually sent us hate mail, which I will now throw up on the screen. He had sent me hate mail prior. He's also sent hate mail to all of the CCs, and I think it's more of a troll, like, hey, look at me, haha. But he says reported, and I said, haha, GG, and then, yeah. But because of this fire here, we actually go, we are still detected as video kind of lags out there. Sorry about that lag spike. But because of the points now, and because this is the last ship, we go ahead and just switch to the AP and try to get more XP out of this as he takes out a turret. The modules on the Daring, I think, are a little bit weaker. But regardless of that, she's just an excellent gunboat with the heals as well. And fellow cruiser support, we are able to smack this Ibuki and win the game. And as you can see here on the final XP board, we get first place as well as 150,000 damage. So just a very versatile boat. 2 solo caps here and 3454 XP. First place by over 1,000 XP. Like I said, those cruisers did well. The Des Moines did well, and the Shima, who was alive the entire time, he did some spotting damage and got a few torps, I'm guessing. And then I have no idea what the rest of our team did, but GG's to them, and GG's to the enemy team, especially that Shima player. Here's the build we're running. I try to go over it at the end here, and that is Perceptive, what we were talking about. But that is another how-to daring or daring video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Comments on the hate mail or anything throughout the video, let me know what you guys think. Hey, Aaron out. Peace.